So today I'm reviewing Super Metroid, which I only ever just actually finished very recently. Within the last couple days, I plowed through the whole thing in like 2 or 3 days over the weekend. My history with Super Metroid is it's a game I have tried to play several times ever since I was probably 10 years old or so. Probably even younger, because I remember playing the Masterpiece demo in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and remembering that I couldn't make the platforming up to the escape after fighting Ridley, and that the timer kept ticking down and I was really scared, and then right when it hit 0, the demo ended. So anyway, I decided to come back to it again just because I was kind of itching to play some Metroid, and I was very pleasantly surprised. This game I've always heard like endlessly praised, and I was like, yeah, I understand it, I get it, it's good, there's a lot to respect about it, but I don't know if it's for me. And the only other Metroid game I played all the way through, saw to the end, was Zero Mission, for context. And this was a game I greatly respected, but basically just came to the conclusion on like, okay, it's great, but it's not going to be something I probably pursue. And it's a game that I've tried to play over and over again, get partway into, and just kind of be like, I don't get what to do, stopped. And that last time I tried to do that was probably, gosh, you know, it may have been a long time. Like, I want to say it may have been like 11 years ago, because I think it was on the Wii U. Anyway, I decided to pick it up again, and this time I saw it through to the end for the first time, and I thought it was just fantastic. It really was surprising to me how much the game really does lead you through it. And, you know, obviously it's predicated on some memorization and just like, you know, retaining information to kind of piece together at a later point, but the backtracking is really not as bad as I've always been led to believe about the Metroid games, and I really am glad I saw this through to the end, because this was just a fantastic experience. There's a couple things I would tweak if I were to change anything about it, but I mean, like, they're very minor things. Like, I would adjust the bosses, maybe. I think the bosses are probably the biggest problem, because I think some of them just aren't balanced quite right, and that the hitboxes feel a little weird sometimes. But, like, that's never a problem with just regular enemies, and then obviously, like, maybe a little bit more direction here and there with what to do could be appreciated, because there was a couple times I got stuck, I won't lie. But every time I realized where I was supposed to go, it never felt like it was the game's fault. It felt like it was me not able to put the pieces together as quickly as I would have liked to. But overall, I mean, any issues I have with this game really don't go beyond that. Just minor tweaks that could be made. There's no broad stroke huge issues. And that's something that is really to be admired. I know this is the third game in the Metroid series, but it still just really impresses me how they took the concept of what if the entire game was a Zelda dungeon that you played like a Mario game, ran with it, and it just did it like flawlessly. And Metroid 1 has its problems, and by Metroid 3 you can see they have it all figured out, and I get now why people consider this to be peak Metroid, at least in the 2D sense. Now I'm very interested in playing Dread, Fusion, all of those. I played the beginning of Fusion, but only maybe the first hour or something before I wasn't able to anymore. I just kind of dropped it because my NSO subscription ran out at the time, and I just didn't feel like emulating it. The sprite art looks incredible still to this day, obviously, 30 years later, and the atmosphere is still just as thick as it was then. Like, you play this at night in the dark or something, you're really gonna feel the creepiness settling in. It's really impressive that it was built to last this well, and who knows if that was even necessarily the intention, because Super Nintendo, you know, was thought by many that it would become antiquated, but many of those games still hold up the best from that era. I've never played a 3D Metroid game, something I might want to try sometime now, because I've just fallen in love with what they were able to do with this. It's truly impressive, and I can't wait to play more. This is a nearly perfect game. Like, this might be on a replay, might be like a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it so much, and I can't wait to come back to it again at some point. Alrighty, thank you, and I will see you next time.